ですね。ということで、このあたりでも十分お分かりいただいたと思います。職業的能力以上ですね。で、4番目。
And number 4, interpersonal competency. What is this? There may be many different breakdowns, but I want to mention those 3. The ability to imagine and fathom out and emphasize. What do they mean? People who have high interpersonal competency are very good at imagining the other people's situations and fathoming out other people's feeling under those situations and emphasizing other people's with other people. If there is a person who rushes into a room in panic, and if you have that skill, you can just figure out what happened and take action without asking questions. There are people who are not good at this as well. And about the feeling also, there are people who are not good at fathoming out other people's feeling, especially in sales department. If you are a salesperson, you have to have this skill. And understanding other people's feeling is not good enough. Ordered goods do not arrive and customer is frustrated. Understanding the feeling or frustration of the customer is not enough. You have to be able to empathize with that with the customer and feel the pain of the customer. And I call this interpersonal skill or people skill. And this word is used a lot, but you have to know the breakdown of this word. You can't just use it casually as a wild card. You have to clearly know the breakdown that I gave you earlier. Otherwise, you can't acquire this skill, and you can't acquire this skill through books like religious book or psychology book. Understanding a customer's feeling and empathizing with them can be this skill can be acquired only through experience. And those 3 skills are one thing, but I want to go further than that for the smart audience today. These 3 skills or interpersonal skill, underlying skill of this is ego management skill. And I want to quickly explain this. People who are not good at interpersonal skills is not good at ego management. And I'm not saying that I do not have any ego. I do have ego, but because I am over 70 years old, I can see through people who are full of themselves. They are controlled by their own ego. There is an anecdote of a celebrity. He was going to play golf with his friends, and in the morning he got a call from one of his friends. He says, "I can't make it today because my pregnant wife is in labor." And then the celebrity goes, "Oh, that's too bad. We need a sub." So this is a famous person. I won't say who, but this person can only think about himself. And of course, we have to take this as a good lesson for ourselves. He can only think about himself. He can only see what he wants, and he's controlled by ego. So what we need to have is another us who is able to say that we have ego. So we need a cool-headed, observant mind that can see our own ego. And the next one is the organizational competency. So in a nutshell, this is leadership skill and management skill. People who are here today, I think, are good at this. But I want you to think about where you acquired this skill. I don't think you had it when you are hired by a company on day one, unless you were a captain of a soccer team or an editor-in-chief of our newspaper club in school. There are clear steps in acquiring this skill. There are 5 steps. So the first step is to acquire the communication skill. That's the skill to be able to clearly communicate what you think and understand what other people think. This is a fundamental skill. I have never seen a strong leader who does not have this skill. So when we are hired by a company, communication skill is the first skill we acquire. And then the next step is to acquire the collaboration skill. Once you are good at communication, you are asked to team with another person, Mr. Tanaka and Mr. Suzuki, who are good communicators. And then if they are not, they cannot collaborate. If they are good communicators, they can collaborate to achieve something good. And then the next step is the ability or skill to create a team. That's a teamwork skill. And good collaborators will be very helpful in a team. When there is an issue in a team, they can just fix the problem very quickly. And they can create a strong team. And then they also can make sure that the team stay in a good direction. And then they are ready to take the leadership. That's number 4, the leadership skill. And then eventually they can acquire the management skill. That's number 5. That's a comprehensive skill to manage strategies, budget, and deadlines. So organizational skill is an oversimplified term. I mentioned, I was talking about breakdowns of each term, but people tend to use those words like management skill or leadership skill in an oversimplified way, but you have to know the clear breakdown of those skills. So now we are running out of time, so I want to go quickly. And what is the highest communication skill? I want you to understand this too. Or communication skill, it's just a skill to articulate your own idea and understand other people's opinion, right? Yes, it is. However, there's a higher level communication skill. And I'm going to mention difficult terms, but this is a skill to be able to manage collective intelligence and make the best use of wisdom of crowds. So what are they? In other words, this is a skill to gather teams' wisdoms and produce a better idea. Maybe you have seen this kind of person, Mr. Suzuki. He's missing in a meeting room. Where is Mr. Suzuki? He has another meeting, so he can't make it here. Well, we need him. We can't start the meeting without him. Please go get him. So this Mr. Suzuki is very good at making the team meeting exciting, and he's very good at connecting the team. I have experienced myself in a think tank. There are those people who are good at this. They are good at combining people's ideas to produce a better idea. And in our school, the Academia at the 21st century, we call this creative communication skill. This is our original term. We could register this as a trademark, but we didn't. So when we say communication skill, we have to have this creative communication skill because basic communication skill will be taken over by AI. In a few years, ChatGPT will suffice in making good basic communication. So in that case, us humans have to go further than that.